enjoy these final moments of peace.
Immediately when he came on set, it was on, and like everyone just was on their A game at all times. Like no one was slacking because there was something about Benedict's, focus and his presence that really just helped challenge everyone to do the best possible job. It was awesome.
I am better.
At what?
You were offered an opportunity to go to Broadway with a play that you'd already been a part of, and it was a very difficult decision for you, but you elected not to do that because of sort of an idea of where you wanted to take things. So
it was a very selfish decision as well, because it affected a lot of other people. I did do it 8 months before we were supposed to go, but apologies to Nancy Carroll and Adrian Scarborough and Thea Sharrock. I just wanted to mix it up all the time. I really wanted... I mean, my theatre training at LAMDA was a classical English theatre 1-year course and a postgraduate course, which I really enjoyed and got a lot out of. But that was it. That was the main focus, because I thought, a little bit old-fashioned in my kind of understanding of it, I thought that what the great actors that had been ahead of me had done and inspired me to do, was the idea of starting out in the classics, then maybe a modern play or two, then a few roles in television, and then getting a film role, but keep going back to theatre. And that is what I've done. That is kind of what I've tried to do. The unhappy accident of that play being such a huge success was it came at a point where I thought, Christ, I've actually got some momentum in a medium where it's much more of a closed door. There's a very little long-term memory. It's much more immediate. Your currency's something you really have to kind of work on in film quite fast to a degree. I'm saying this in everything I say tonight is contradictory. I know that, but it's just, I guess that's what a personal conversation is, really. It's just a point of view. But every time I say anything, I'm thinking, but the opposite is also very true. That's the kind of, that's my head. You're getting into my head. It's great being me. I was really lucky to have just had a few breaks, obviously with Sherlock, but also with Tinker Tailor, also with Frankenstein, and being cast in War Horse. And that all came at the same kind of point where we were supposed to be coming here to do this Broadway production of After the Dance, which might still happen. It might be a film. We don't know. There might be some life left in it. It was a wonderful experience in London. But I felt that I'd had that experience there, and selfishly, I wanted to make some capital out of this momentum that was building. And I'm glad I did, because I got Star Trek and 12 Years a Slave and August Osage County, and it worked out well for me. But and the Fifth Estate. So I kind of I was very I took a gamble and it paid off.
There are certain obviously recurring things that you say, but also that interviewers or profilers would say. And one of the things in terms of a complimentary adjective is there's sort of a sense that you're timeless. There's something about you. You could have just as easily been dropped into a movie with Trevor Howard or Peter O'Toole or somebody as you are today. And
the blessing of having a weird face, somewhere between an otter and something that people find vaguely attractive, or just an otter, which is vaguely attractive.
Which is right. That's right.
It's. I mean, on these hottie lists, I just kind of go, well, it doesn't make any sense, because I was nowhere near the 1,000th hottest face when I started out. So I know a lot of it's projection, which is kind of flattering about the work, I suppose. But what I'm saying all that for is, I started out and I went, I'm not a typical beauty. So basically, I've got a long neck and a long face. That's usually period. That's usually some kind of inbreeding weirdness. So I'll run with that. I'll wear some high collars and get on a horse or two. I'm fine with that, but not all the time. Not all the time. Sometimes I'll just get a collar in a 21st century drama and turn it up, as you'll notice I did in Sherlock. So I kind of the otherworldly. I mean, I had a great English teacher called Martin Tyrrell, Oscar. You remember him? And he said, "It's weird. You remind me of William Blake." And I went, "What?" The hallucinating visionary poet of the Romantic era. And he went, "Yeah, well, no, it's just you're quite an old soul." And I went, "Oh, I kind of like that." And it kind of, an old soul. Did someone say what? As in not a new soul, an old soul, old smelly leather soul. And I kind of ran with that, because I was fortunate enough to grow up in England, and you're surrounded by your heritage there, and it's a very deep, very long, very kind of old heritage. I mean, not my heritage, but like the heritage of the land and the culture. And I went to school where there were buildings that were 400 years old, and those were the new ones, it was kind of inspiring, and it meant that whatever I was doing in my context, in my time, I could always see what the past had evolved into and realize that we're not all that far away from that. We really aren't. And it's important to be able to recognize it and to be able to honor it and learn from it as well.
There are men and women in all those torpedoes, Captain. I put them there.
Who the hell are you?
A remnant of a time long past. Genetically engineered to be superior so as to lead others to peace in a world at war. But we were condemned as criminals, forced into exile. For centuries we slept, hoping when we awoke things would be different.
But as a result of the destruction of Vulcan, your Starfleet began to aggressively search distant quadrants of space. My ship was found adrift. I alone was revived.
I looked up John Harrison. Until a year ago, he didn't exist.
John Harrison was a fiction created the moment I was awoken by your Admiral Marcus to help him advance his cause. A smokescreen to conceal my true identity. My name is Khan.